A silent summer night. A man found behind the wheel. As deputies respond, they realize something is terribly wrong. 26-year-old Cedric Hayes Jr. murdered in cold blood. 5 years later, and detectives have exhausted all leads. In tonight's Unsolved Florida, the family waiting for answers. The new information detectives say could lead to just that. June 12, 2016, one of the deadliest days in American history.
Shots rang out after police arrived at a gay nightclub in Orlando.
49 people killed at 4 hours outside Tallahassee.
It is the worst mass shooting in our country's history.
Pulse nightclub dominating the headlines that day. Didn't leave much time for Cedric's story.
A man found dead in his car. Deputies say this is no accident.
Just imagine getting that call.
Wakulla County native Cedric Hayes Jr. was a family man, and the memories of him are fresh.
The birth of his son.
Even years after his death.
He would always come up and give you this hug that only he could give.
His family now honors those memories by wearing black and red, the colors for murder victim awareness.
If we know what took place, it'll be a little bit more easy to deal with.
It has been 5 long years since Terrell Sharp's little brother was taken.
He was a very fun jokester.
5 long years since a son was taken from his mother, a father taken from his son.
He was one. He don't have no memories of his father.
Cedric was a man of faith, baptized here in the Wakulla River.
That was a good thing. That was a real good thing.
A standout baseball player and Rickards High School graduate, the first man in his family to get a college degree, ironically in criminal justice, wanted to be a lawyer and had just gotten engaged when the unthinkable happened.
Hayes was found slumped over the steering wheel and unresponsive.
Our cameras were there that morning as investigators worked the scene, loved ones gathering to grieve nearby.
We gonna find out what happened to my nephew.
Half a decade later and still no arrests. The only reminder of what happened here on Ross Road all those years ago is a flyer with Cedric's photo and the offer of a reward. In a Facebook post, the detective in charge calls it a cold case, but a Leon County Sheriff's spokesperson telling me there is still work going on behind the scenes.
Tips have come in as late as this month, last month, and in the last year, Katie, so we are still, actively working this case.
The lead detective, back then a deputy, and the first to arrive around 5 a.m., sat in silence with Cedric's body after a passerby, whom the family says was a newspaper delivery person, had noticed Cedric's gray Ford Mustang lingering at the stop sign, someone behind the wheel.
Responding deputies found the gentleman deceased inside of his vehicle.
No clue as to how long he had been there. His fiancée says he had been out club hopping in Tallahassee with his best friend the night before. The best friend's grandmother living nearby where Cedric was found. The sheriff's office tight-lipped, wouldn't even let me speak with the lead detective.
Do we know how he was killed?
At this time, that's confidential information in the case.
A public records request of the case file heavily redacted. Only half a page released out of nearly 1,500. Cedric's Mustang still in the sheriff's impound lot, and his autopsy report withheld by the state attorney's office.
It's very hardening. Very hardening, especially not knowing the who's, the whys, or what even happened.
There is one big clue we found in all that blacked out paperwork as to what happened. Cedric Hayes Jr. had been shot.
The way that the detective described it to me, she said he didn't have a chance. Like somebody just walked up to him, or it was just totally unexpected. Like it was a struggle, a fight, or nothing.
The family left behind, waiting in limbo for answers.
Just imagine, it could be your loved one next week.
Tries to draw strength from the love of the son Cedric left behind.
The good days are when I look at my grandson, and it's a feature in him that reminds me so much of my son.
And tries to visit Cedric often at his graveside, decorated so colorfully and full of life, just like he used to be. And Cedric's family is asking for anyone with any information to please come forward. A $5,000 reward is now being offered for information leading to an arrest in his murder. If you know anything, call Big Ben Crime Stoppers at 850-574-TIPS. That's 850-574-TIPS. They will pass along the tip to police, but not your information. We'll be right back.